Yeah. How's it going? I am setting up here. Just need a couple of things. Managed to sleep finally. Great to hear, hon. You started to like League? Good question. The game itself has been compelling from the start. It has some issues for sure, especially with, you know, with the balancing and the fact that there is so much to learn in terms of how everything functions. And in terms of like the overall strategy and what you're supposed to do. But then sort of I am a little bit intrigued by what it has to offer. Okay, so let's see here. What do I want to do? I want to share my screen for sure. That would be a good start. Okay, that's better. Aurelion Soul is like the god of Runeterra. Basically, yeah. Okay, we can have some background music, and we can do the thing. But yeah, so thoughts on the game. I have a bunch of different thoughts. Some of it is positive, some of it is negative, some of it is neutral. I'm intrigued by sort of the complexity and how sort of exciting the game can be when things go well, or when you get to sort of do the thing that your character lets you do, and when you interact with your team and you play against the opponent and you interact with them, with the whole team. There's a lot of strategic decisions and there's a lot of moment-to-moment decisions. There's lots of them. there are elements of a fighting game when you're just going one against one, or there's elements of grand strategy where you need to sort of move around the map and be at the right place at the right time in order to fight for the objectives that will sort of push your team forward. There's lots of layers. And then the champions are all different, and they function absolutely differently, and they break the game in different ways. The items change the dynamics completely. Even sort of if you take two champions going one against another in a lane, at level 1 they may interact one way, but after level 6 they might interact differently, and after level, say, 13 or 11, they might interact differently again. So there's lots of interesting things going on, and all of that can be very difficult to balance. And with the new season out, it seems that people are still figuring it out, the players and maybe the developers. Some strategies seem to be a little overpowered, so some items seem to be a little overtuned. Some champions seem to be a little bit unfair or very frustrating to play against, or maybe in principle. And that doesn't go sort of, that is even without mentioning sort of the player base. So a lot of people can get very sort of invested in the game. Is this the reincarnation of Vapras?
No. My name is Katros, and tonight we'll be drawing the blue dragon.
Like this. Also, Shigeki, we talked about this. This looks like a masterpiece. I mean, like, already, this has lots of potential, and signs of greatness. But yeah, I was sort of sharing my general thoughts about League of Legends and how the game can be interesting and exciting, and also some elements of it can be frustrating. It can be sort of also sort of the team dynamics, because sort of at the lower level, when people don't really know what they're supposed to do, and people are very passionate about the game and everybody wants to win, they tend to get, you know, some people can get into heated conversations and everything. Team can make Lysian blind. True, as in like, there's some weird interactions going on. But yeah, game's hard, interesting, and I'm still figuring things out. But one thing that I certainly appreciate is certain characters. I'm not sure, do we want to have this talk? Because I can pull up a playlist. A tier list. Play with me when. Maybe tonight, if we're done with the drawing quick. Or maybe next stream on Sunday, if you're around. I definitely plan to stream this Sunday at around this time, so if you're available, we can all play. We can make a team together. But you're probably way more experienced than me, so probably get carried. Oh, you'll be off soon. That's unfortunate. But yeah, sort of, I can sort of very briefly, there are a few characters that I like a lot. One of them is Aurelion Soul. It's just a grand design. Super cool character, larger than life, with a very interesting conflict, and just super, super powerful. Another amazing design is Kindred. They are, just amazing. The duality of death and the sort of the interpretation of the interpretation that comes from different cultures and how they sort of embody different aspects and different emotions that are related to it. Swain, I like a lot. The sort of a visionary ruler, someone who comes from, who doesn't even come from nobility, but someone who made himself the man he is, who was betrayed, and who came back to essentially take the throne of the country with an iron grip, with the help of a demon, of course. And then he has premonitions of the future, and he tries to guide his nation in sort of the right direction to avert disaster. And then there's this whole sort of story. Did he defeat the demon, or did the demon get the best of him? And that's also a good question. Who's in control? Who's in charge? Maybe a little bit of both. Another character I like a lot is Pantheon. It's like the struggle with divinity. And him fighting against the gods for all the wrongs that they have done. Also, sort of a very powerful character. Everything that he's gone through, and the fight that he fights. You like Kled? Kled is good, but he's not sort of on the level of these guys. Kled, yeah, is a crazy gun with a gun. Ain't you gonna teach you a lesson? You better not come to your sports. Yep, exactly. But yeah, so he's a fun character, but I wouldn't say that he's sort of exceptional. Still fun though. It's sort of on the similar level as Draven, because Draven is sort of the annoying character, but designed perfectly. He's so full of himself that it becomes good. Yeah, it's like the embodiment of big ego, but it's done very, very well. And another character that I would consider sort of amazing, or basically perfect design, is Jin. The maestro. The virtuoso. The meme with the number 4 is a little overdone, but Bowser best champ. Anyway, here he is. I think Jin is great. The number 4 is a little overdone, but everything else is wonderful. The sort of the articism with which he sort of approaches things, the obsession, the way he talks about things, it's just pure art. he really views the world through a different lens, and you can feel it. Jax is badass. I don't know much about Jax other than, you know, him coming from a tribe that is now like destroyed, and he yields a lamp because he's so good at fighting, but that if he would yield an actual weapon, it would be unfair. And I know that there's a bunch of jokes about Jax and the PDF topic, but I'm not sure what that's about. And so, I don't know, Jax doesn't really speak to me. Yeah, so you do say anime? Yeah, they're bland in my opinion. Love the lore he has. I mean, it's not really enough for me, I'd say. Maybe he needs a bit more development, or like a proper conflict, perhaps. Because there's like a bunch of champions that are kind of around, but they're not really doing anything. So I'm not really sure how to feel about that. Sort of maybe this time or maybe next time we get to like a proper tier list, and I can share more thoughts and more characters. But some I consider to be bland, some I consider to be uninteresting, some I consider to be just okay. Some are good, some are great, some are amazing, and some are just pure bait or pandering. Riven is 8 below, I'm unfollowing. What do you mean? Evelyn 10 out of 10 with Smash? I mean, kind of. She is a very good embodiment of the theme, and she is done correct. And she's done right. So that's sort of the point, that sort of a bunch of the characters are sexualized for no reason. For Evelyn, it serves a very concrete thematic purpose, and it is a very interesting spin on her extracting misery out of her victims. The fact that sort of the misery is biggest when the victim experiences ecstasy. Evelyn, Ari, yikes. Ari is the boring take on the seductress archetype. She just has a craving for human souls, and that's it. Just hate these things. I mean, sort of understandable. Everyone has different tolerances for sort of different topics, and everyone has different preferences. I'm just sharing mine. Anyways, I really wanted to draw the dragon. So what do I want to do? I had a few ideas for how exactly to execute it. It'll probably be in a similar style to what you've seen before. I'm not that great at drawing, but I know some things. I'm still getting adjusted to the digital art style and everything, or the digital toolkit. And so what I want to do is I want to take an image of Aurelion, first and foremost. The problem is that if you take the splash art, I guess, Okay, it gets added as a new image, right? Where's the tool? This, I guess. So yeah, if you take something like this, it's very hard to extract any sort of proportions, and sort of the image for the face is not exactly what I'm looking for. So this is not what I'm gonna use. This is not what I want to go for. Maybe I think the version from Legends of Runeterra would be a bit more appropriate. Because I think that would give a sort of a better sense for what he should look like up close. But sort of the pose that I want to go for is something similar to this. Essentially, what I would like it to be is I would like it to be sort of a combination of several things. First, I want it to be, I want him to be curled like a cat. Let me reduce the size of the brush since I'm writing. Two, I want him to hold his chin up, essentially. Or that's option A. Or B, I want him to be sleeping straight up. Or C, maybe I want him to have sunglasses. Then I want him to have a globe or a star in his paws. That's the idea. And so roughly, he's gonna be curled up like this, with a thing at the center. I want to do something with the tail, some sort of a curl that would be sort of very cat-like. This would be the head and the horns. The teeth are here, I guess. Yeah, that's about right. Gotta go. Okay, hope to see you soon. But yeah, so this is sort of the pose that I want to go for. And I want it to be sort of a combination of several things. And I just need to find a sort of proper proper references that I could combine into everything. And so I will certainly need a reference for the face. I will certainly need a reference for sort of the curly pose. Maybe the globe I'll need to look up somehow to get an idea of what I want to draw. Or maybe it should be a star, and then it will be illuminating everything. That could actually be sort of interesting to give some sort of lighting on the body. And that's sort of the star that is maybe half hidden by the tail is still emitting light, and is sort of turning the blue into the yellow, or into the lighter blue. That could be sort of cool. But sort of the problem is that sort of if you take the splash art from the game, or if you take the model, let me add another layer. If you take the model from the game, then it looks a little goofy, right? Like, what is this? This is very difficult to work with, I think. I can try and stylize it, and maybe simplify the shapes, but I'm not sure if this is exactly what I want to go for. Like, the proportion seems off, for sure. It definitely looks okay in game, but maybe that's not quite what I'm looking for. So maybe let's leave it here for now. Yeah, the music is also kind of appropriate, not gonna lie. But yeah, so these seem to be like not exactly it. What could work better though is the art from Legends of Runeterra. Well, first of all, sort of the art looks way more badass, and then you get an actual portrait image over here. And of course, sort of the proportions of the body are they're varied, right? Because like over here, I think the I think it's kind of similar. Sort of the torso is a little human-like, with claws, or with paws with claws instead of hands, and then it morphs into sort of a snake tail with legs slotted somewhere. At a certain part. Maybe like the first third. Here it's more like the first quarter, the first fifth. But yeah, like look at this image. You have the infinity sign. But yeah, the art from Legends of Runeterra seems to have sort of better resolution and better proportions for what I would like to see as a reference. Because like here, for example, of course he's twisted. But sort of, you can see his face a lot more clearly. And it seems to have better proportions, I think. Just like this one here. Sort of trying to study the shapes and sort of see how this would work. The simple way to see it is like, of course, like here's a triangle with like half circle here, half circle here. And because of the perspective, or like this is a circle, and this is sort of a circle. So this kind of does it. and this distance seems to be about the same as this distance. And of course you can sort of see the detail with this golden plate on his forehead and the golden chin. And like same here. Layer is invisible. Yeah, I am drawing in this layer, right? Because like the shape is also very similar. It's just like two triangles in one. Very simple. I'll just need to leave a bit more space over here, so that the maw has some space to breathe. Though sort of the metal plate seems to be covering the nostrils, so the nostrils are here. So it goes quite close to the mouth, or to the maw. Is there any other references we can find? But yeah, might be a little difficult to replicate because the body is semi-translucent. That certainly throws a wrench in the works. Or rather, this just shows that it might be difficult to sort of render it properly in color. Or it might make it simpler, actually. Because another way you can look at this is if you think of it in terms of splashes of color. It's a weird, like, sweet sibling. True. You have plenty of blue women. Here's a blue man. And he's one hell of a man. But yeah, you can imagine it being sort of, for the body, it is sort of a splash of purple. And then on top of it, you have your horns, you have your plate on the head. The eyes are shining through, but then sort of the bone, sort of the maw itself is just bone, straight up. Wow, my accuracy is kind of good. Right? He has only one horn. Yeah, like, I'm not sure what happened here, but it's like... it's a corrupted version of him or something like that. Because, like, I'm not sure what is going on with the symmetry. It's like it's broken off or something. Yeah, he was enslaved, true. So maybe that is sort of the enslaved version when it just happened and he was at his lowest point. But sort of, you can tell the difference, right? Between this render and kind of these two renders, and then something like this. It's still kind of similar in how it's executed, right? Because oh, this one has this detail too. That this horn is kind of small, and then this one is broken into two pieces, right? The huge one and the stem. And then there's this, right? Like, I'm certainly inclined to use something like this instead. Still waiting for Scorpion rework. What happened to Scorpion, by the way? It's the Mortal Kombat character, right? I remember there was some drama related to Mortal Kombat. Mostly revolved around the skins, but also maybe something related to the characters themselves and like the stories that they go through and stuff. I'm not quite sure. Not gonna lie, I'm a little clueless in the sense that I don't actively follow a lot of the news and a lot of the drama that happens with a bunch of different games. I'm aware of their existence and roughly what's going on in the media sphere, but I'm not really tuned in with all the most recent news. But yeah, in terms of the pose, sort of for the character itself, so it is more or less clear what we're going for. Might be a little difficult to execute, but I think we'll manage. If we think of it in terms of splashes of color, and then adding in the details on top, I think that technique will probably work in this case. And sort of breaking it down into the body being one color, and then the bones being a second color, and then the plates or the horns being a third color, then we should be able to do it. For sort of the pose that I want to go for, I was thinking about something like this. Instead of your classic sleeping cat curled up, the tail going up to its head. Maybe something like this? But this might be a little bit too much of a ball. Because if I want Aurelion to hold a star in his paws while he's curled up, this is a bit too compact, and there's not enough space for the star itself. Really like the music from Genshin. So yeah, I was thinking maybe something like this will work a little better. A bit of a more open pose. Because then you can certainly see fitting something over here. Yeah, but then you go into the cat anatomy because sort of this is the tail, right? And the hind legs just go right in front of the tail itself. And because there's a lot of fur, a lot of it is covered up. And you can't see much anymore. But you can certainly imagine sort of... if this is our Aurelion over here, with this huge horn on this side, this might be a very sort of interesting position. And then sort of, if this is... the sort of the forefront of the picture. Where do the eyes go? That's a good question. About midpoint. So somewhere here. Doesn't matter too much at this point. I was thinking that sort of you can add the claw and sort of holding up his chin like this. But then maybe the other one is outstretched over here. And he's cupping a glowing star in his other one. But he is sort of leisurely curled up, and he's still creating. Even in this pose. It's kind of difficult to tell, but I hope you see what I'm going for. Maybe even something even simpler could work. So maybe what we're actually looking for is something like this. I mean, this is stylized, but this may be workable. because sort of imagine the same setup. Oh, actually, the cat's shape is kind of similar. So we got the same triangles. Just that Aurelion is a bit more aggressive, I guess. We'll get them right eventually. Maybe I'm overcomplicating things as usual. Then you don't even see the hind legs because they're sort of over here, hidden in the fur. Yeah, because I'm a little torn. It's like considering two possibilities. It can go several ways. Just like D&D adventures, maybe. If you're not familiar, sort of in D&D, when I create adventures, I'm also always torn because it can go so many different ways, but I still have to decide where I want to take it and how I want to go for it. And sort of there's two options I see. One is more sort of an open pose, a more playful pose, where sort of there's a ball that is sort of a star or a planet that is Aurelion's plaything. He's curled up a little, and he has this thing next to the belly. Maybe having his claws on it would be an interesting sign. So like, I like the elements from here. Like the fact that this is the ball and then the legs go on it. Like straight up. Controlling the thing. The tail can still go around in a leisurely manner. If this will even make sense. Don't need to be quite sharp, but quite precise. Something like that. I really like this claw over here. Right. So this is a very powerful move. And then the head can still be over here. But maybe even held up like this. Something like that. Thoughts? Because I think this could be a little bit more interesting than just having Aurelion curled up and sleeping. But then I also won't know what to do with the tail compositionally, because like if it goes in front, do we make it more circular so that the whole shape becomes like an oval? Do we hide it to the side somewhere so that the ball is in the center and then the tail is dangling back somewhere? This would be sort of a departure from how he's usually portrayed, because sort of usually the face is in the front and the tail is sort of somewhere in the back swirling. Or here, for instance, same thing. It goes back into the distance and not in front of him. That could be an interesting spin. Are there any other images I can find? Maybe you know of a good reference image. I mean, I guess another way to pose it is just to hide the rest of his body behind the ball. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I love how I've spent an hour and I haven't even started drawing yet. I'm still in the planning phase. But maybe good planning makes all the difference. So yeah, maybe something like that. And here the idea would be to go for something like this. So Aurelion is still in the center, it's just that the ball is to the side, and he can put one of his claws over it. Like that. This arm can still be supporting. But yeah, it's like, I still want to sort of rebalance it in this sort of sense. Because like here, even if you hide the tail, and sort of the image is very unbalanced. Sort of the sphere is on this side, the character is on this side. The focus is on the character and not on the sphere in terms of detail. Sort of in the end, I think I'm gonna go for this variant. It seems to make the most sense to me. It's just that constructing it will probably be a huge pain. But that's alright. I'm taking on a challenge that is slightly above my ability level, let's say. But I think it still can be very cool. So I think we've decided. Or I think I'm decided. This to be a roughly oval shape. I mean, it's roughly centered, so it seems good enough. The head will be around here. What were the proportions again? But yeah, it's like, it ends up being super similar to my original plan, so I might as well have started. But now I think that sort of doing it this way might be a little bit more interesting. Because like maybe the longer horn will go on this side, the shorter will be on this side. Then yeah, we'll have our small planet. It will still have to be sort of in... The proportion will have to be good. Because like the size of the claw is about the same size as the... What's it called? The claw is about the same size as the face. So to see it sort of be reasonably large. To make it a bit more proportional, I think the world itself will need to be a little bigger. Also need to see the anatomy of the legs. Where is it? No, so a knee into a backwards bend, and then you have some claws over there as well. So this is what it's gonna look like. Maybe I shouldn't grief myself, and I should just start with this image. That would probably be a great idea. And I need a reference for a person holding up their chin. Or it's like resting their jaw on their hand. And we can do something interesting with the fingers. Because like here's an interesting reference I found. Look at this. I think this can work very well for Aurelion. Because of how gigantic his claws are, they might be a little too large for the face itself, and they're gonna be sort of, the claws will be sticking into his eyes, which would not be ideal. But if he sort of falls at, if he folds his fingers while leaving the palm open, then rest his chin on the open palm, you will still be able to see the claws, and you'll still be able to sort of have the resting position. I think I'll probably need a different color if I want it to be visible. So like essentially, the palm would need to be here. All the fingers are curled up like this. They will be curled on top of each other. Yeah, the wrist anatomy is complex. Making so many lines. I mean, this is like okay, these are the two curves. I mean, yeah, this, I roughly got it. Yeah. Just need to make this a little beefier. Then it comes together. It can be bent from this side. It's gonna widen here. And go into the biceps. And attach to the shoulder. Okay, I can roughly see the shape. There's this thing on top. Okay, it's gonna be the look of curiosity. Alright. I think I like this. Because the other option would be... What else can we do? We can rest it like that. That could also be an interesting way to go. Yeah, it's just that because Aurelion is a dragon, it's very hard to imagine. Because, like, oh. Yeah, let me quickly group these two and hide them. Because of his anatomy, like, all of this is bone. I'm not sure how convenient it would be to rest his chin also with this golden piece on his fingers that seem to be quite bony. And the nails or the claws are quite pointy. I still want to sort of give it a sense of like a wonder and give it like a question. Oh, will you? How exciting. Amuse me. That sort of thing. So maybe doing something like that. And yeah, you need a beefier forearm. Then his claws will be going here. This also looks decent. But then he's gonna end up a little too humanoid, perhaps. Maybe we're looking for something more cat-like. I'll need to think about this. Also, perhaps I want to take a bit of a break. Stand up, walk around, maybe think about things. Would make sense. Also get a refill of my water. Because I think it could be an interesting juxtaposition to show Aurelion not as sort of this powerful being, but more of a cuddly kitten that is playing with his balls of yarn. But instead of balls of yarn, he actually has planets. Or galaxies, even. Difficult. Okay, let me take a quick break, and then I'll come back to it, and we'll do a pencil sketch. We'll start with that. But then we'll probably do sort of splashes of color going into, and sort of we're gonna layer the colors in order to achieve the thing. The blue at the back, then the bones, and then the plates. And then I want to give it some shadows this time. Also may be a little difficult, but are we drawing some magic circles to summon a demon? Not quite. I'm trying to sort of pose him properly and gives him some character at the same time. So basically, what I want to do is like a combination of several things. First, I certainly want to take Aurelion himself. Then on top of that, I want to pose him as this cat right here. Let me hide everything else. Yeah, so this cat right here. And then on top of that, I want to give him a thinking pose like that. So it's like a combination of these things. that somewhere else. Yeah, that's fine. So like, you see what I'm going for? So, pose like this cat is Aurelion Soul. Well, with the tail going sort of forward and around, curled around the whole thing. And then the head itself is held up in his palm. So like the shoulders will maybe be even a bit more forward. So yeah, that's sort of roughly what I'm shooting for. Maybe I'm shooting for a star, but sort of let me take a brief break. I'll reset, and then I'll go for it. And I think we're gonna get it. Fortune favors the bold. But yeah, let me take a short break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
See you soon. What are you?
Hi Kavi, how's it going? Glad to see you here. You have perfect timing. Good, never seen your art stream. Yeah, I better upload the 24-hour stream, or the VOD of the 24-hour stream. Let's see what you draw. For now, I've been in the planning phase because I'm sort of figuring out the composition and how to do the thing. But sort of this is what essentially I want to combine. The goal, the very basic goal, is to draw the one and only Aurelion Soul. His Majesty, so to say. How do I want to draw him? I wanted to sort of the original sketch. This is what the quick sketch looks like. we want our dragon, and we want him to play with the ball. But in this case, the dragon is, or we want to draw a cat that is playing with the ball. It's just that instead of a cat, we have a dragon, and instead of a ball, we have a planet, or a star, straight up. And sort of this was the plan. And basically, I looked up a bunch of references to sort of get a sense of like proportions and the poses, and to get a better idea of what I would like to do exactly. And so this is what I sort of narrowed my choices to. So this will be sort of my main reference picture for Aurelion. Do you have a tablet? Yes, but it's not a graphic one, so it's just literally a slab, and I have like a pen or a stylus that I can sort of hover and use it to sort of do things on the tablet. But I need to be looking at the screen in order to see where I'm doing things. But I'm quite used to it, so it's fairly agile. Maybe it's not ideal or not the most precise. I need to do a bunch of redos, but it's okay. So, we'll be doing Aurelion. And then I'll try to pose him as this cat over here. Seems to be sort of a very nice pose. And it can be very powerful if you draw the claws with sort of these very nasty nails. Almost basically piercing into the globe. That can look very menacing. And then instead of sort of having this hand do nothing, I want him to sort of be inquisitive and pensive and maybe demanding that you entertain him. Amuse me, mortal. So something like that. That's the basic idea. But now let's create a new layer and let's go for a pencil sketch. That's, I think, what I should be beginning things with. I think I want it to be, right? Yeah, so that's the idea. And then as background music, I just put on some chill tunes from Genshin. Because why not? It seems to be a decent choice for drawing stuff. Okay, this is really pencil markings. I don't want to be super hard, but then if I zoom out a lot, I won't be able to see Jack. So maybe the size needs to be a little larger. That might help. It seems okay. Like a solid plan and references. Yeah, it seems to help. Or at least I am the sort of the kind of person who likes to plan ahead and to really sort of get a very good idea of what I want to go for. Before beginning to work on the thing. But then sometimes you just jump straight into it and everything just works out. Or sort of not necessarily. Okay, maybe you just work it out as you go. That's a better way to put it. Okay, so our you can barely see it actually. I can't draw a solid ellipse. Silly me. Just trying to imagine it a little better. What is my cat reference? Because sort of this is what I want to go for. Oh, I can't draw because I'm not on the drawing layer. So let me try. So what is the proportion? So yeah, I want it to be a little thicker. Because sort of this is the rounded back, but then it will lead with the tail going all the way around to create some symmetry. And then it will carefully go back into here. If you want to do a bit more planning, I can really recommend doing small thumbnail sketches to get a feeling for the pose and composition. Maybe overkill. Yeah, so I I did a little bit of art school, but not that much art school. So I know sort of a few things, but not a ton. Because sort of I was doing a bunch of drawings for things, because like this is supposed to be a hand. If I like change color and draw the outline. So this is like the arm. This is like what it's supposed to look like. This goes into the shoulder. And in here you have the palm going into the fingies, and the fingies have these nasty claws. And they will be folded over each other like that. And then the face itself can rest on it like this. Yeah, so I'm not drawing in pencil, so you can even tilt the head a little, like that perhaps. So I have that, for example. Or where is I drawing? Oh, I was drawing here. No, whatever. So here I'm also trying to understand a little better. Oh, maybe I can select things and cut it out. Boom. Well, maybe not anymore because of the blue lines here. Yeah. Maybe like a color select? If only I knew, if only I knew how to actually work with my program of choice. But yeah, whatever. I'll just erase this whole thing, and then redraw it on a separate layer. But yeah, the miniature sketches can certainly help with like better understanding what you want to go for, the details of the pose. Essentially like doing a bunch of exercises, small ones, to nail down the idea a little better. But yeah, in this case, yeah, it's Krita. You guessed correctly. You use it as well? There is a set of tools that I'm kind of used to here, but oh man, these are the same. And this is nothing. Alright. So anyways, step 1 is like an oval. Maybe if I start with an actual sphere, then it will be a little easier. Because like if I want my sphere to be about this size. Alright. Then I will get a better sense for what my oval is supposed to be. Bruh. Scuffed. Extremely scuffed. Something like that. It's kind of close. Is it? Kind of close, right? Man, playing games is a lot less stressful than drawing. But then again, this is the art of creation. I will certainly want to move everything downwards. If I really want to fit everything. Also, I need the proportion of the head to the torso. Artist pain. They embrace the suck. Kinda true. I really struggle with proportions. So like the horn is going to be on the wrong side. But we can do this perhaps. This is going to be a little bit more balanced. Because like Aurelion has several different versions. This is maybe like the whole version, but then there's like the broken version or the enslaved version. And this is also in this splash art as well. You can see that sort of the horns are kind of asymmetrical, and one of them is broken, and it has like a huge piece and a smaller piece. While this version is completely symmetrical, and there is no break in the horns. I mean, maybe I don't have to overcomplicate it. That sort of maybe going for this version would be more interesting. But yeah, essentially, sort of, Aurelion is actually triangles. So like you have a huge triangle. Within it, you draw like half a triangle. This is going to be the face, and this is going to be to where the horns extend. Then the next set of triangles is to do the face. And here essentially you once again want to scale it and squish it a little. Here you can see it super clearly. I guess I need to change the brush to something like this. And an actually visible color. Because like here, this is triangle number 1, divided in half. This is like another half. And you're basically done. You just put your eyes here. And you add some teeth. Separate this thing, and you're done. So maybe let's do something similar in our pencil sketch as well. How does his nostril look like? They don't. He essentially has longer teeth that grow from right onto the plate. Then you need to have like a skull with a lower jaw and an upper jaw. So like this actually has to end in something like this. Then you will have like a jaw over here and a jaw up here. Yeah, dragon anatomy. And these teeth will be like super long. Coming down from here. And these I think as well. I think he can no longer recognize anything on the sketch anymore. Super messy. Also, maybe I want to simplify the shapes a bit. Because, like, this is damn complicated. It's like it has cheekbones. And then the rest is literally hidden underneath this helmet type plate. Which looks something like this. I mean, it seems close enough. And then you have these large endings. Very regal-like. They actually start from the sides as well. It's like more like that. Then you have and goes to the sides rather than I'm so bad at this. It's horrible. It's just like watching me play League. There's a lot of details here. Doing good things. I don't think so, but thanks. Because like it can literally do this one for one probably, but that's not what I'm here for. I want to make this mine. Okay, essentially, like, it's 2 bananas and then 2 bananas on top. Like that. Try to get all the major shapes down. I mean, I kind of got the major shapes down, and now I am sort of trying to shape it into the actual thing. This does look like a dragon face. And sort of, if I were to go for sort of the color on top, I think you would be able to tell. Not sure how to make this gold. I will make this yellow. I'm sort of being intentionally very rough right now. This kind of works. Because, like, this will be kind of complicated. But in simple terms, this I think is it. Trying to make it out somehow. Kind of like that. So if I hide the pencil. Scuffed, but the basic shape is kind of there. Ah, 13-year-olds draw better than this. Because I was like planning to do something like this anyways. Like take a huge brush and then say that. Oh wow, this is taking a while. This is a very quick stroke. This is because of all the computations that it has to perform. Yeah, watercolor physics, like literally. We don't want that. Is there just a brush? Yeah, give me a brush. This will do. Even if you make it sort of large size. We could sort of, my idea would actually be to go for, oh, it's gonna start thin always. I am stressed now. I was thinking that, oh, I'm just gonna have a layer of dark blue. On top of that, I'm gonna have a layer of gray and white. And on top of that, I'll have a layer of gold. That was my basic idea. And here, I guess, for the face features, you can like, straight up go. Yeah, I probably wanted to be non-overlapping. I guess this was actually the correct choice for me that I used before. Because like straight up this, then you can shape it into whatever you want. Then you can say that this will be his upper jaw. This will be his lower jaw. But yeah, this really doesn't work. Literally skill issue. And yeah, it's like, and look at all this texturing, like, this is insane. Yeah, so I think that a plan like this is not really gonna work. I'll need to really, like, simplify this down to, like, basic shapes. And just go for a very cartoony style. I think this this will be the way to go. Like the Neko arc image that I drew before. If only I knew how to stylize it. I mean, like, I can imagine. But still, it is definitely drawn by skilled professionals. It's basically worm-shaped. Yeah, it's like, if you look at it, it breaks down quite nicely. It's just that I won't be able to replicate it at all. Because, like, the shape of the head, as I said, the basic shapes are just triangles on top of one another with details added on top. Underneath, the upper torso is essentially like human arms with you know, your standard like shoulders, then biceps and triceps. This is your forearm, and the claws are like a combination of human hands and animal claws. And then you have these long nails. And then for the body, you just literally take a snake, and initially it has a bunch of vertebrae, but then it blends and becomes a wisp, essentially. And you add the hind legs somewhere at like a fifth or a fourth or a third, like depending on how well you can see it. And since it's literally a snake, you can twist it and turn it as much as you want. The end of the tail is like literally a whirl. What also bothers me is that sort of even from the side, his head looks kind of flat. Because, I don't know, like, dogs have more of a, like, curvature to the snout, or to the nose. But Aurelion is looking hella flat, not gonna lie. Even here. There's a bit of a shape, but not too much. Oh, actually, this shape for the jaws is actually simpler than this one. Because, like, here you have to, like, actually do the lower jaw and the upper jaw, like, separately, and the joint is complicated, and you need to, like, actually use a proper skull. While here it's like, oh yeah, we'll just join them somehow. Over here. This is not like how a proper joint works. This is a proper skull. So maybe you should use this version. And it also looks a bit more shapely. Man, art is difficult. Because, like, this is kind of close. Need to know more about skulls to be able to do it properly. And then I always mess up the proportions somehow, because like I think that the sides are supposed to go like over here instead of up there. The bananas. And then the upper part of the banana is supposed to connect into the lower part of the banana. Okay, let me just break down the shape over here. I'll just hide the previous sketch. It just didn't work. Okay, so what shapes do we see here? It's more squarish, actually. Look at trapezoid. Right? Just like that, essentially. This is kind of still recognizable as a dragon. This is super inaccurate, but whatever. And this too. You draw a huge horn. This is less human, because like usually you would draw it like this, I think. Or I've seen artists do it like this. Okay, the elbow is out of frame, so whatever. But this is not super noticeable here. So yeah, it's like, if you really look at it closely, it's all turned and twisted. It's just that because it's complicated and there's a lot of color, it seems to make sense. But Aurelion is deceptively simple. If you look just at this, it actually looks horrendous. Like, bruh. Aurelion is tough because all the shapes are basically implied. Or like the facial structure is implied, right? There are bones, sure, but if you remove what's behind the bones, it will stop being a face. It's like a bunch of layering. Very tough. I'm beginning to think that I actually bit off more than I can chew. But yeah, like, you can definitely see the difference between like the construction of the face in this picture and in this picture. Like, come on. This is a literal dragon skull, and this is a cartoon. Like, the jaw connects over here. Okay, let me look up some references for more cartoony depictions of Aurelion. I mean, I guess they just draw them like literally a dragon face. Yeah, so they go for more of a dragony face than like a skeletal structure. But yeah, I would rather use official artwork rather than because like this is way different. This is like a totally original creation. You recognize the character more because of the sort of color scheme and the elements that go onto it rather than the actual shapes. So it's a reimagining. And here too. This doesn't really look like Aurelion anymore, to me at least. Yeah, but I admire how simple this is. As in how simplified the shapes are. You can go essentially for like a circle with some lines for the details. This is for the lower jaw. And then you add some shadows to it, but not too much. There's like some here, but it's like blending almost. This is closer to the thing, but complicated. Also, like, look at how they do the lighting. This is what this image avoids, for example. And this one, basically, too. Once you do the glow inside the mouth, you need to illuminate the teeth. Because like here too, you can see that the top of the teeth and the top of the jaw somewhere is illuminated from the inside. Yeah, rim light. I feel like I'm overcomplicating this again. Yes. But also, I kind of want to understand how this works. This is sort of more in the realm of possibility, but like, you see how all the shapes have changed. Before, Aurelion was super flat. Now it's like literally... You do a dragon head, and you just give it the correct colors. Like the off blue for the skull, the yellows for the trim, and the blues into the purples for the body and the mane. Sort of, this is the simplest so far. I mean, there are people who can do this as well. But like, I guess I'm not even close. Or it's gonna take me an infinite amount of time to get here. This might as well be like the picture for the character inside the game client. We want a front view or a side view. It's more of a front view with the head tilt. Nope, wrong image. Wrong image. This also looks quite simple, but this has more of an implied shade going on. It's like these two are similar. And this is also giga simplification. Let's see. Okay, so what did we learn? Simpler shapes for the colored parts, and then just add the lines on top. For the details. So essentially what I would go for, in terms of the face itself, is basically something like this. I want my triangle still, but now gonna do something like that, perhaps. Let me see the original again. Yeah, because, like, I say it's a triangle. But the skull itself is more like a pentagon. I oversimplified it a little bit. It's like, if you look at the composition, then it's triangles. But if you look at the skull, it's a pentagon. So let's draw a pentagon for the skull. Essentially this. Proportions. I think it's okay to do multiple lines, right? And I think it goes wider here than here. Okay, this would look a lot better. Alright, restart. I want it to be wide at the bottom. Like that. Also, the rounder it looks, the cuter it will look. And if we want a cute Aurelion, then you gotta give him some cuteness. Some rounder shapes. Yeah, and now sort of this is our skull. But then sort of it will be adorned here. The jaw essentially goes something like this. Maybe not as drastic, but I'm exaggerating a little. This is a mess. And we just drop a plate going to the middle. This is the circle with a little horn on top. Going into the actual horns. And let's mirror it the best we can. Looks okay-ish. Yeah, the music stopped for some reason. Want him cuter, so we can give him bigger eyes. And then the mouth is going to be closed, so... let's check the cartoons. Yeah, essentially we draw the upper jaw only. Or the teeth. The upper teeth. The teeth on the upper jaw. We draw those, and we drop the bottom jaw. I think these should be wider. Oh, let's check the reference. Not this one, this one. I mean, the positioning was alright. That certainly looks like a lizard. Yeah, I think this thing is too low. Maybe this will help. And then this part I got a lift. this look okay? It's more curved in this picture. Here the proportions are all different. Yeah, so I guess we gotta curve it. Toothless lizard. Yeah, because sort of if this is the lower jawline, this is actually supposed to connect here. This is the cut. Maybe lower? I'm not convinced. This looks extremely scuffed. Well, this doesn't go to the end. This doesn't either. And this doesn't either. This actually ends at the large one. It was 15. So is it around 10 is a rate. What am I doing with my life? Again. The weird thing is that maybe if I just apply kind of human proportions. But he looks extremely inhuman. Yeah, it's like, now I'm just saying fuck it. And this thing essentially is going to be his eyebrows. Then it's going to go into the horns. This curve is incorrect. It's supposed to go here. And it's like, make it look like a crown a little bit. Yeah, because like now I'm doing proportions of like eyes in the middle, then the mouth in the middle of that. Honestly, it's supposed to be the nose, but like, also if we want to go full anime, then maybe what we do is actually blow up the eyes by an insane amount. And we get an Aurelion swole. Aurelion arc. This can be pointier, perhaps. How's that? And like naturally remove this garbage too. I think here just the teeth weren't large enough, perhaps. The positioning was a little scuffed. Or he needed, like, the opposing jaw, perhaps. No, like, there's not enough space for it. I think this is supposed to be even higher, and then you just add... And the curvature should be a bit more dramatic. Like, these are my jaws. And now this is the round part. Eh? I don't know. I'm kind of tilted. Not even close. And there's like some extra details here too. I'm just making it worse at this point. This was a little funny, at least. Make this a bit more defined and a bit more symmetrical, and it kind of works. And then if you just add the bananas, then you're actually doing pretty good. Where do the bananas go? To the side of the horns and up to the eyes. All right. Whoosh. Let's say whoosh. Here you need very parallel lines. Then it like connects in a weird way. I was never able to replicate it properly. Like it connects here, and here it starts up above. Something like that. Should also be like more massive. It's the width. It's also a bit of a complicated shape. So maybe I don't want that. What did the other artists do? Depends. Usually they make it like a singular piece or two pieces, but with other proportions. But essentially we kind of want to reinforce this triangle, right? No. What if we go for the alternative approach? What if we say that we're gonna do the extra long horn? I need to go a little lower. How about that? But then sort of the base is usually like that. Hey, how's it going? Doing art in an extremely scuffed way. Let's go play Dota. Can't you see? I'm busy. I'm trying to do a combination of an epic dragon with a cute cat with a ball and with a smug, pensive face. Honestly, if I just keep it like this, it can... It can work. So yeah, essentially, long story short, this is the epic dragon. We want to draw it in the pose of this cat that is playing with the ball of yarn. And the face, we want him to prop up on his hand, looking at you in a very curious manner. Waiting for you to entertain him. And I can't even draw the face properly, so... I failed a bunch of times, it looks like trash. Every time. It's kind of difficult. You go look at Asterion. I mean, Baldur's Gate is a fun game. Isn't it? It has wonderful scenes at the campsite, people say. You can bang a bear. Modern games have to be feature-rich. But yeah, so do we keep this scuffed abomination? I guess so, right? And then to make it even more scuffed, what we do is we take everything, then we rotate it. True D&D experience, exactly. You think I won't do it? Of course you will. I mean, where else can you do something like that? But yeah, I'm certainly feeling a little frustrated because it's 2.5 hours and I have this. And life is giving you an opportunity, you should take it. Are you sure about that? I mean, I think this looks funny enough. What about the consequences? Okay, let's bring it to a new layer. Yeah, it's like there will be consequences. There will be consequences. Okay, now the question is, will we be able to create an actual body around this thing? What I want to do is like an oval. Really like the stylized look. I mean, it's essentially sort of, if you make it a circle, it's a Neko arc. Now you can't unsee it. You're welcome. I mean, also it's supposed to have like this huge mane, I guess. But that will come in post, I imagine. No, I should add it now. If only I had some actual art skills. I think this should be kind of okay. I'll even hide most of the claws, perhaps, or make them show like this. I need the other shoulder here. Let's give him the Giga Chad arms. It actually fits with the shape very nicely. Okay, the other shoulder will be around here. This will be our little ball. I just decided that I'm gonna say fuck it. And I'm gonna straight up draw the way it feels right for me, rather than how it should be. Yeah, but now I want the claws. To go like that, basically. But then the arm anatomy is not gonna work out. Or maybe it will. Maybe I just move the ball to the left and then everything works. Maybe that's the idea. We take that. We move that here. Now we ballin'. So that's our arm. I'm trying to see. I think it's supposed to go here, actually. There's so many fucking lines. Just lower the shoulder and make it bigger. Maybe you can make the ball even bigger. Just blow it up. And that will work. And then you don't even need anything else. This can just be a whirl of dark blue circling around. How's that look? I think it's not too bad for a sketch. I'll definitely want to do something with the face because like, everything else is hyper realistic. Well, this looks giga cursed. And I'll need to do something about the mask as well, or the plate. Because I think this is supposed to go here. Maybe that was the issue. It's because we're tilted. Should be straighter. Hey, sup watching. Oh, I kind of used to tuning out. Yeah, see you around. I hope that I'll finish this someday. Because like, so far I'm liking the composition for the ball and the arms, but I really don't like how the face is turning out. This is just horrible. And I don't know what I can do about it. Because like the proportions are all messed up. Embrace the suck. I mean, I can do it again. That will certainly help. Okay, this is the new layer. Okay, I'll just see if I can repeat the lines of this face, just in a more simplified manner. We are tracing now. Because like I want to understand how this looks. is more of a tear shape than... Like the teeth, how do you do the teeth? It's like the worst for me. You main? What do you mean by main? I rarely have mains. I play a bunch of characters. And the eyes that go here, I think. But yeah, it's one of the characters that I really like in League. Aurelion is just a gigantic personality. And his story is interesting, and sort of what his character can do, and the conflict that he has with the world of Runeterra is fascinating. And can lead to explosive consequences. And it's actually similar with sort of the characters that I like usually have something interesting going on in terms of story. My other favorites are Kindred, Swain, Pantheon, Jin, and maybe someone else that I forget. And Aurelion, of course. I think banger champions. I should maybe do a tier list and like a discussion of what I think about them and my preferences and stuff. Could be interesting to talk and to see everyone's perspective. But yeah, like the teeth is super hard to draw, I think. And also, in terms of gameplay, Aurelion is... the engine OST brings back times. I mean, yeah, but it's kind of comfy to draw to, for sure. Some relaxing music. Helps me concentrate. But I am a little ticked off by my inability to draw Aurelion's face properly. I'm messing up all the proportions, and that's why I am tracing right now, because I want to actually understand how these bananas work. How can I simplify this shape? Because I guess one way to do it is to go along this line, then curve it into here. Along this line and curve it into here. Right? Do squares. Something like that, I don't know. It also looks like this is just a triangle. And then this is just a smaller triangle. And this is also a smaller triangle. Maybe that's the way to construct it. But also I see a pentagon over here. It's just very elongated on the bottom. And then you have these extra sides here. So maybe it's like we actually take a circle, with these being our eyes. Because like this isn't even the middle. And make this super sharp. We cut off these sides. And then what? This will be like super close to the eyes. Then it has to go up already. This joins in. There's like a... There's more to the sides. And this is a tier. I mean, so far so good. This is like okay-ish. It's passable. The biggest problem is the mouth for me. This I can curve in, that's fine. If it is actually supposed to be a curve. Just a tiny bit. Like a teeny tiny bit. That's a bit too much. Like that. That's fine. But then how does this jaw work? I still don't understand. Maybe I should just draw the upper jaw. Upper bone. Like this. And then it just looks like a ragged cut that goes from here to here. This looks very dragon-like. We just add a large tooth here, a large tooth here, and it's basically done. But yeah, it's like, I don't think I'm finishing this tonight. Because sort of, this is what I ended up with before. I have like a bunch of previous attempts. This is more on the cartoony side with the Neko arc twist to it. And this is, I guess, the pose that I want to go for, but then the face looks way too goofy. And then maybe adding this face will actually change things for the better. Because, like, if I take this, copy it to another layer, hide that, and then take this, and then I'm gonna, like, rotate it to make it fit. How about this? Will this work? What do you think? I think it doesn't look bad. I think I'll save it and I'll call it a decent sketch for now. And this is Aurelion ballin'. I imagine I can take this off stream and finish this off. By adding some colors, drawing in the lines properly, figuring out how to finish off the tail, if it actually needs to be finished, or if I just keep this as a portrait of this sword. Because this is already kind of a decent framing for him, right? So if you just look at this thing. This is already nice enough. Thoughts? But yeah, I think I can call it here for now, with the drawing part at least, because it is certainly getting late, and I don't think that I'm gonna be able to finish this in the remaining hour. Which brings me to the thought, sort of, if I'm not finishing this. Or, okay, as in like, I'm gonna call the sketch done. The rendering of the image we can do on another stream. Or I can do it offline if I have the time or the will to do it. That depends. But I honestly sort of like the new rendering of the face a little better. Something I might be able to do is stretch it out in like this diagonal direction. Yeah, making it a little bigger. certainly makes it fit the image a little better. It's like there's some sort of a proportion going on that is kind of hard to catch. But yeah, I think this is enough for tonight. But yeah, honestly, very, very difficult. I definitely bit off more than I can chew. I collected a ton of images for inspiration. They're not even showing up on my preview. So like, there's a ton of things that I've gone through. Even if I hide all the groups. Because like, what I started with was just the sketch, the idea that I want to have Aurelion soul curled up and sort of playing with the ball. Or like a cat plays with a ball of yarn, Aurelion soul can curl up and play with a galaxy or a star or a planet. And my plan was to basically look up a bunch of references, which I found, and there's a ton of very cool images. You can definitely see sort of that's the stuff from the game doesn't really work for my purposes. The art from The Legends of Runeterra from the card game is amazing, and this is what I primarily used. But there's like also other cool images. But you can also tell that there's like two very different approaches to drawing Sol in Runeterra and in the game itself. Later on, I looked up cartoonier versions to sort of see how people simplify the faces, but I did that way later, after I failed a bunch of times. I also looked up a bunch of references of cats, like trying some things. All sorts of stuff that you can do. Like these hand gestures as well. But yeah, there has been like so many failed attempts. Sketches of arms, how the hand is positioned. Trying to go for this thing. This actually looks kind of decent, but there's a bunch of pencil, and if you go to fill in the actual lines, it's very hard to find them. And what you find doesn't look great. Sketch of line art with the Neko version, the new skulls. And if you plop it in, then it kind of works. So yeah, it's a long progress. It's a long process. But we've made some progress towards getting where we want to get. Where we want to go. And I think this is sort of a good version of the image. And then once we render it out, it's gonna look great. I believe. But yeah, I think this is gonna be it for tonight. I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna wish you the very best. I hope to see you again on Sunday. But until then, good luck, have fun, take care, and good night.
Bye.